Nice to meet you. Yes.
You mentioned conditional housing, specifically children, once they're 18, they're kicked out.
Yeah.
Is there enough of those facilities, the traditional housing facilities?
I got a copy here from LASA, it's LA Homeless Service Authority. There's permanent housing beds designated for homeless youth. Just talk about homeless real quick. There's 218 designated beds in LA County. There's only 18 for this spot, this community, right here, only 18. And this is from LASA. Permanent housing beds for homeless youth. There's only 114 in LA County. There's only 10 for this community right here. And this is SPA 6. In transitional housing beds, 835 in LA County. In this area, there's only 26. So, emergency shelters, this is a good one. 212 beds in LA County emergency shelters for homeless youth. There's none in this community, not one emergency bed shelter in this community. And so, we do not, housing is a problem, yes.
So,
I know.
Yeah. So that's what the example you gave, the young lady was kicked out after she was 18.
Yeah.
The group home and give money.
Yeah.
So they're kicked out and they're on their own.
Yes.
They have nowhere to go unless they have a friend who will offer a bed or something.
Yeah.
What about the financial, they're not working, but how
Yeah.
do they eat?
Yeah,
Does they have to process themselves?
When it's a female become homeless in our program, we go into emergency mode because we know that sex is the next thing that's going to come. Selling her body is the next thing that come down the line. It's just a survival skill that's wicked. Yes, they still get access to food stamps, but how long does that last? There is a new law called 8012 that keeps them in the system longer. It provides them $819. But what is $819? You know, and it's supposed to be going to a place, a shelter, wherever they're living at, and they can take a little bit of $1,819 and pay rent. I have about 7 youth in my program that's 8012. All of them are homeless. So they're faking documents with the county supervisor, with the social workers, saying that they're living with a friend, and they're social working know they're homeless, and they're just collecting that paycheck. And so what can you do with $819? You're living in the car, you're living on the streets, and then that money's probably gone in the first 4 days, you know, depending on the drug you're using. If it's crystal meth or some cocaine or something like that, it's more. But if you're just smoking bud, you probably stretch it out a little bit longer. But yeah, it's terrible. Yeah. And so housing is a problem. Housing is the biggest problem. And so we don't have enough property, enough beds. And then, I know SAJE fights for low-income housing. So do you really think a developer wants to build transitional apartments for foster care youth where you're really not going to make a lot of money? It's corporate America. You know? Yes. Yeah.
You just gave me an idea of what development could have at Casa de Rosas on Hoover and Adams. It's a beautiful facility, it's a historical place. Used to be a finishing school for the fine ladies in the turn of the century. Then it was an SRO. Funding was CRA development into public housing. So now it's there, and we just need someone to help push.
And USC doesn't control that housing?
Oh, thank God, no.
Oh, they don't? Okay, well, we'll like to hear. No, that's, I mean, no.
So that's something to push with the politicians.
No, yeah, that's we have people who, we have a housing committee.
And to help with Casa de Rosas and Sons and Adams.
Well, Adam, no.
The only problem is the historical place or whatever it is.
They can't change it, yeah, correct.
It's gorgeous, it has it's perfect.
Correct.
It has a theater,
Wow.
it has, I think, 40 beds,
Wow.
great dining room, great kitchen. I used to be a quality of a shelter manager.
Well, I'm pretty sure Teresa's going to
But
drop me an email.
That's a good place.
And we will look into it, because housing is very important, yes.
Yeah, you're talking about how a lot of the foster care youth, don't have the opportunities educationally
Yes,
to go on to college and universities.
correct.
Are there programs for vocational job training and skills that they can learn to increase their opportunities for jobs?
Vocational, well, remember in LAUSD when we was growing up, we used to have auto shop and all that. They cut all that stuff out now, which is backfiring on us. You have these schools that's popping up like the UEIs and these, I call them the Channel 5 universities. When you're watching Maury Povich guessing who's the baby daddy, Then that next commercial pop up and they all sign up on that school, you know. And next thing you know, they take a big loan out and it ruins their credit. And those schools are dead ends, you know. Homeland security training, there's no such thing.
Can your students, can they transition to the job corps program?
Yes, they can. Yes, they can. But you have to remember that our population, they haven't dealt with the real issue of the trauma. They haven't dealt with, so if you can't send a kid off to Job Corps and they have PTSD, you know, they're worried about our vets coming home. We've been going through a war since birth, you know, but I know it's veterans can swell an election, you know, that can change an election, helping veterans or not helping veterans. Ignoring foster kids, that's not going to hurt our government.
You have to register everybody once they're 18.
Yeah, correct. But you got to understand, and I understand my population because, you know, I understand why they don't believe in God. I understand it. I understand why they don't believe in the system. I understand that. Because where were they at? Where were they? A kid shouldn't have to be going through this abuse, you know? And then people want to say, well, go find religion. Well, where was it the religion protecting you? So I understand that. I'm not an atheist. I have a higher power, but I understand. You know, Jesus was last thing on my mind when I was getting beaten from my mom. You know, and Ronald Reagan was in the office when I was getting beaten. I still have a bad taste in my mouth about him. And so, you know, but back to education. The education is there. They get free rides. One of our funders just gave $3 million to UCLA for foster kids to go to UCLA. But they're not prepared. How do they're not ready to work at LA Live sometimes, you know? They're not ready. They haven't dealt with the real issues. So we're forcing them to grow up at 19, 20 and say, okay, there you go. But wait a minute, what did I just go through? Let's deal with that, you know? And then my therapist can probably agree with me. They don't like talking to therapists a lot of times. But we created our program where they have to. We created the program where it's okay to talk to your therapist, you know? I love talking to therapists. I get my advice from all my therapists about parenting, my 6-year-old kid, and my new PlayStation I bought for him. I know I did something wrong. I know that, and I'm taking it. But, you know, I know that, but, you know. Well, no, he's too young. He's too young at 6 years old. He shouldn't have PS3. But it's really for me. I like math.
I just have a little question on
Yes.
mental health component.
Yes.
Of that. So is your program like 1 year long?
1 year is, well, yeah, no, it's open-ended. They're with us forever. They're with us forever. 8 weeks is the curriculum. They have to go through 8 weeks, mandatory. During that 8 weeks, we're enrolling them in, if they don't have insurance, we're rolling them in DPSS to give them the Medi-Cal, Medicaid right away. And then we partner with Children's Bureau, where now we have access, they do the billing, we just get the services, you know. So for the whole first year, no one would give us service. No mental, I know she's gonna kill me, we was doing our own therapy, and that's wrong. But if there's no one else there, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to hang up the phone? I gotta hear them out, you know? I mean, and our men are crying more than our young ladies. Our boys are crying with tears in our workshops, telling us, it's just bad, you know. But now we got mental health services, and we're promoting that. So for our licensed clinical social workers and our therapists, they're the ones who should be working frontline, because they want to tell us the problems, all their problems, and I might give them bad advice, you know. So we put them in front of the professionals now. We just dangle the carrot up. They'll be working at LA Live and Laker games when they talk to the therapists. And once they open up that door and sit down on that couch, they're there forever. They're looking for that therapist. Yes.
I just want to add, like, with therapy and things, like,
Yeah.
it's good for them to either stay connected to someone,
Yeah.
like a therapist, even when your program ends, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
encouraging them to continue that process.
Correct.
Because even with long-term trauma, it's
Yep.
not going to be resolved in
Nope.
8 weeks. And
Correct.
just like how you're experiencing
Yep.
things, it's a lifelong
Yep.
process where it's
Lifelong.
improve.
Correct. It's
It's nice that they're able to.
yeah. But we just have to keep the program going. Therapy leads the way, and then we feel we'll be fine, you know? Because it's that gift that keeps on giving. When they have kids, guess where their kids are going to go into the foster care system, you know? Because out of my men who have babies, none of them are with their kids. Not one. They're all fathers, not one. And it's an easy way to say, well, my mom wasn't there for me. It's easy to say that. It's easy to say that, you know? And I understand. We get mad at them, but what can we do? we understand their excuse, you know? We understand their excuse. I want to make sure I'm covering everything. I think, yeah. Any other? Go on. Yes, sir.
Yeah, several years ago, I had the privilege of working with, foster youth. And I was really impressed because he had, fallen behind on credits, finally managed to graduate on time from high school and go on to community college. And just recently, I saw that, we connected on Facebook, and I found out he's been incarcerated. And so, I think it reminds me of like what you're saying, the struggle, that it's lifelong. But I'm just wondering what kind of opportunities are for people that get caught up and end up going into the prison system. Is there still ways of support for them as foster youth or former foster youth rather, or is it just kind of like once they're in the prison system?
No. We don't. We haven't built that program where we're talking to them while they're locked up. But when they come out, and anyone knows, in the nonprofit world, there's a lot of money coming from the federal government to work with people coming out of prison. And, that's a war against us too, because I'm like, well, where's my foster care money, Because our goal is to stop them from getting to prison, Once you go to prison, you pick up some bad habits. That's a different ballgame. Depending on the prison you go to too, you can go to Camp Snoopy or you can go to Big Pelican Bays, and you pick up some real bad habits. And those are hard habits to break. And our philosophy is we'd rather stop them from going to prison. But we never throw away a kid coming out. I got one kid that he was in our Rites of Passage program. He's going to get out in 2 years, accessory to murder. And his young brother was in our program too. He just graduated from Iowa, intern at the White House, shook the president's hand. And so 2 different routes, but we're waiting for his brother to come out. And we knew his brother's going to end up in prison. You just know. You know who's going to be. Our foster kids are followers, and I don't say that in a bad way. I had a meeting with probation, and they was attacking me because I said, I'm not working with your probation youth. I said, I want to work with my foster care youth. And then he went off and cracked the joke. Yeah, your foster kids are wannabes. I said, yeah, you're right. We want to be loved. We want to be a part of something. We want to be contributors to society. So you're absolutely right, we're wannabes. That's why I'd rather work with my wannabes, When you mix probation, real gang members, with foster care youth, they'll start following those real gang members, picking up bad habits, You'll hear those excellent gang members with the nice smooth tongues getting to our foster care girls, impregnating them. That's why I keep them separate. I'm not against other gang organizations, but my foster care is just different. They are followers, they want to be a part of something, whatever seems entertaining, they will jump into. And so there's another program called CASA I'm a part of, Court Appointed Special Advocates. And it's sad because all of CASAs are mostly females, so I'm only speaking to my young guys now. Men, we need to get more involved. The women are picking up all the work. So guess what? 2 more years when we have a female running the White House, don't come crying to me. We better get our act together. I want to work with Hillary, but she's not going to want to work with us lazy men. We don't do anything. It's always women that's taking the lead. And I'm not here. I have a girlfriend, so I'm not looking for a wife right now. It's just truth. Women are leading the way, and it's sad because, us men are not stepping up. With CASA, we're dying for CASA. CASA is a volunteer program where you get the answer to the court, and you get a foster kid, and you have a little bit of power. You have some power. DCFS social worker answers to me, but men are not there. So if men want to get involved, CASA, you can't forget it in your home. CASA, C-A-S-A. Look up that organization, CASA, and get involved with foster youth. It's a great program, I promise you. Any other questions? And become a foster parent if you can. There is funding involved, but please don't do it for the money. Don't leave here like, oh man, I'm about to get a new credit card. No, do it for love. Love the kid, all they want is love. That's all they want. They want to be a part of something, hugging them and kissing them. The only thing, and this I'm gonna leave with this one. I remember one of our PhD person was saying, bought one of our kids a cane because he got hit by a car recently. And she was like, is this unethical? And I said, I don't ever want to hear that again. The only thing I ask for my staff is don't sleep with our students. Don't fall in love, get romantically involved. Whatever else you want to do, it's okay. But just don't cross that line. If you want to help them out and pay their phone bill one time, yes. But don't pay it every month unless you got it like that. Don't go buy them a car, But yeah, just be there for our students, Think outside the box. And we'll be fine. You know, I want to thank you guys. This is an awesome opportunity. My little first SAJE talk. Hopefully I'll be on TED Talk soon.